Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're here to do the weekly review for the last week of August. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this week goes from the 26th of August until the 31st, actually the 1st of September. I think it's a little too bright, so I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see better. Hopefully this is good. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and grab our daily review and weekly reviews sheets. The first thing that we have here on the daily review, so let's go back to our daily. Today is currently Friday. I finished my work day already. And let me just go ahead and write down what I did. So for this workday, I did the RLI template for this hour here. And here I also did the RLI template. Perfect. So now I'm just going to go ahead and count the hours for these projects. So here I had 7:0002 meeting. I'm so sorry for all the honking if you can hear. It's outside. I'm not sure what is happening. So actually I had 2 hours of that. I got distracted. So 2 hours, and then I had 7:00 to ETS, which was half an hour. I also had, let me just write RLI, and this was 1 hour and a half. I also had 75049 meeting, and this was 1 hour and a half. 70002 FTP day, and that was half an hour. And then finally, I also had 7002 extra, and this was half an hour as well. I have my other cat here today. This is Oreo. And Biz is also here. He's trying to bite Oreo. Okay, we have 2 cats today. They love just to be here when I film. Let's see how many hours I had today. So I had 2 hours here, 4, 6 and a half. I'm missing 2 hours, which was support for T1. So this was 1 hour, and support for T3, which was also 1 hour. Perfect. We did count the project hours. Let's go back into the weeklies and check if we need to update anything. I don't think so. As you can see, a few meetings that I had planned were canceled, like this one. I also had this one, which was canceled. And I also had some meetings pop up during the week. So everything that is in this darker pink were meetings that were not pre-planned. So they kind of popped up throughout the week. Okay, we don't need to update the weeklies. Update the mules, it's already updated. Cross date on monthly, already did that. Habits as well, mood as well, and weather as well. Okay, so let's go into the weekly review part. I did complete the daily sheets, I updated the weeklies, and now we're going to count the project hours and the deliverables. So let me go ahead and grab these 2 sheets right here. And then we're going to go back into the weeklies, the dailies actually, and we're going to see what we did. So on Monday, for this first project here, I spent 4 hours and a half. For 53068, I spent 1 hour only, which is unusual. Then for this last one, I spent 2 hours and a half. And I think I'm missing something. Okay, I forgot to put here the ETS. So this is half an hour. So this here is 5 hours. There you go. Then onto Tuesday, we have 70002. 3 hours, 6 hours. 6 hours of that, and the rest is for 53068, which was 2 hours and a half. Let's check if that's correct. So we have 1 hour here, 2 hours and a half here. For Wednesday, this first one. I think I spent most of my time on this first project this week. So I have 4 hours here, 6.5 hours. And then I have 75049, which was 2 hours. Finally, on Thursday, I only had 70002, so that was 8 hours and a half. And finally, Friday, mostly also 7002. So this was 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours and a half, 4 hours, 5 hours. And then for 53068, I had 2 hours. And then for 75049, I had 1 hour and a half. Okay, that's all that I had for the project hours. Now let's go ahead and count the total amount. We had only 3 projects this week, which is usually what I do, 3 to 4 projects. So I have this mini calculator here that we're going to use. So it's 5 plus 6 plus 6.5 plus 8.5 plus 5. This gives us 31 hours for this first project. The second one, it's 1 hour plus 2.5 plus 2, which gives us 5 hours and a half. That's very few hours for this project. Now for the third one, it's going to be 2.5 plus 2 plus 1.5, which gives us 6 hours. Now counting everything, we have 42.5. Exactly what we need. Perfect. Now in terms of tasks, let's go ahead and start with this first project here. Let me go back to the dailies. Where are the dailies? Whoops. Here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to put here is going to be the ETS, and that was 1 hour. I already know that. And let me check what else we have here. Meetings. We also have emails, but I think this week we didn't have any emails. We need RLI also. Support. Not support, I don't think. Visit, and that's going to be procedure template and FTB day. And I think that's all that we have. So let's start with the meetings. I had 1 hour here, then 3 hours or 4 hours and a half, and 6 hours and a half. This week we had 6 hours and a half of meetings for this project. Now in terms of RLI, I had 3.5 here, plus 3, so 6.5, 7, and 8.5 hours for this. In terms of visits, I had a visit on Thursday, and this took 2 hours and a half. Now template procedure template, I had 3 hours here. Then let's see, 3 hours and a half. Then I have 9 hours in total here, 8.5 hours. So 8.5 hours here. Now for FTB day, let's see, 1 hour here and half an hour here. So 1 hour and a half. 1 hour and a half. I also had events here, which was 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. So let's go ahead and add everything. So 1 plus 6.5 plus 8.5 plus 2.5 plus 8.5 plus 1.5 plus 2 gives us 30.5. I'm missing half an hour. Okay, I found out what I was missing was this extra here, which gives us exactly 31 hours. Now on to 53068. We have here a couple different things. Let's see, on Monday, I had T1 support, T3 support, T1 meeting, T3 meeting, and let's see what else. So for T1 support, I had half an hour here, half an hour here, then nothing here, and 1 hour here. So I had 1 hour and a half of T1 support. Now let's see T3. We had half an hour here, 1 hour, so 1 hour and a half. 2 hours and a half here. So 2 hours and a half for that. Finally, for T1 meeting, let's see if I had anything for that. I don't think so. Actually, I always have at least one. So yeah, I had 1 hour for that. And for T3 meeting, I had half an hour. And I think that's all that I did. So let's count. So we have 2, 4.5, 5.5, exactly. Okay. And finally, I had 75049. And for that, we had support and meetings, of course. And I think that's all that I had. For support, I had 2.5 here, 3.5, 3.5 for support. And for meetings, I had 1.5 here. And that's all, 1.5. I also had extra, which was 1 hour. And this gives me 6 hours exactly. Perfect. So we are done counting all of the deliverables hours. Let's go ahead and just mark with the colors that I usually use. And just check which colors I'm using currently. So I used green for 7002. I have this pink for 75049, and I have the blue one for the 53068. Great. These are all of the project hours that we have. Let's go ahead and put this back. Perfect. Now that we're done with counting the project and deliverable hours, we need to update meals, habit tracker, weekly, monthly tasks, and weekly budget. So let's go ahead and update the weekly tasks. I did not do this. This is going until next week. This was also not done, and this was also not done. And then let me see what else. I didn't finish that, so that's going. And that wasn't done, and that was done. That wasn't done, and I did update this, and I did complete ETS. So let's go ahead and write why I didn't finish what I didn't finish. So first is the flowchart presentation. For the third consecutive week, I didn't start this, so I need a little bit of motivation for that. For all the 3 that were in yellow, docs in yellow, MSO didn't sign, so that's why it's late. For the NSIL anchoring, 049 wasn't a priority, will be done in a later date due to possible delay in the receival of the items. Okay, let's see what else. Dissection instruction for 049 was discussed, but in-person discussion will be performed next week. Has to be done by the 9th of September. Okay, What else do we have here? Organize ICHD visit with boss. I didn't do that because he didn't go. Align technical note. So technical note 06821. Excuse me, sir. Will be discussed next week, possibly. Okay. Training matrix and test procedure template. Issue test procedure template. So we had a couple of issues with this. First things first, didn't see the changes made to the Excel file, so had to check them, BGO, and then also had to align comments with AAA and EAB. Waiting to discuss channel names in person next week. So that's what we're going to do. And that's why we didn't finish all the tasks that we wanted to finish. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's good that we know why we didn't finish. It's not good that we didn't finish most of the things. But honestly, this week I wasn't very motivated. I was quite tired. And this is the week previous to my travel week. So I am going kind of slow. And one new thing that I added to this planner is the weekly review. Here is this page in the back. So I'm going to try to use this page every single week. And I'm just going to go over it because for this week, I already kind of filled this up. But for the next weeks, I'm going to fill it up with you guys. So first thing here is the summary of the week. So I wrote here pre-work trip week. Very slow with multiple events. Was quite tired, but okay. And what happened this week was that we had a celebratory lunch with everyone in the department. We also had a update meeting about the department, which took about 1 hour and a half. We also had the celebration for the people that had their birthdays in August. And so because of that, we had quite a few hours that we had no time to work, and that kind of cuts the work flow, so I was quite slow this week. Now here, things that made me proud or happy. So I wrote here words of affirmation from my work colleagues and being invited to lunch with my leaders. So these two things happened this week. First was an activity that was proposed during the department update meeting. So basically we had one sheet of paper for every single employee, and we had to write down at least one positive thing about this person. And one thing that someone wrote to me which really made me happy was that I was the future of the product team, which is my team. Very engaged, proactive, and dedicated, will definitely be the big name of the team. So this made me extremely happy. I'm going to keep this with me forever. So that was a very big highlight of this week. And also being invited to lunch with my leaders. So I work for a global company, and we have a leader for my department that doesn't work directly in my country, and this person is coming over, and this person is bringing everyone that works in upper management. So we are going to have lunch with these people, and I was one of the few invited for that, possibly because I'll be in the laboratory for next week and they are going to visit, so we're going to have this special lunch, and I'm really excited for that. So that was also something interesting that happened this week. Now, in terms of top 3 highlights of the week, I had the chance to check out the 2025 planner layouts for this planner, which is great. I'm very excited, and this is one of the sheets that is coming for the planner next year, and that's why I'm so happy. Also the celebratory lunch with everyone in the department. And finally, I'm going to put here invitation for lunch with upper management. Now, I'm grateful for 500 subscribers. So this week we got to the 500 count on subscribers. I'm so happy. I'm glad you guys are here. And I hope we can create this planner community in terms of functional planning and having fun with your planner. So I really like the community here, this little niche on YouTube. And I hope we can still grow a little bit more. Now here is the evaluation for myself. So I put here productivity, exercise, sleep and rest, mood, spending, YouTube, and planning. In terms of productivity, like I said, this was quite a slow week, but I was able to achieve a couple of things. So I put 2 here out of 5. Exercise, I had a problem with my calf muscle last week and I was afraid I was going to hurt myself this week, and I didn't want that because I'm going to travel next week, so I kind of didn't go to the gym a lot this week, but I did some exercise yesterday, so that's why I got 2 on that. In terms of sleep and rest, this week I was quite tired, so I wasn't sleeping very well, so I put 3 here. Because of that, I think my mood wasn't great either, so also 3. In terms of spending, I did very well this week. I don't think I spent almost on anything actually. On YouTube, I did very well as well. I posted all of the videos that I wanted. I responded to all of the comments and we got to 500, so that's great. And in terms of planning, I did use my planner a lot this week. I'm just going to flip through really quickly so you can see. Look at that. The planner is quite full this week. And I think I did a great job on that part. So I put 5 on that as well. And that's basically it, I think, for this part of self-evaluation. Let me get back into it. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, in terms of goals that I was able to accomplish this week, I put here 3 things. I finished my part on the RLI template. It's not 100% done, but I did a lot this week. I also was able to define a schedule for this day here. And I went to visit a obeya on another building, so that was great as well. Now, habits that I wasn't able to maintain. So I put here the PM routine. And I have to do it earlier because when I'm tired at night, I just sleep. I don't do anything else. So I can't go back to the bathroom to do my PM routine because I'm too tired. I don't want to leave bed or the sofa or anything. I just kind of die and then I resuscitate in the following day. But I need to do this earlier to kind of get into the habit of doing it. Exercise, again, like I said, I felt my calf muscle, so I needed a break from exercise, so I didn't do much this week. Now, in terms of challenges and lessons learned, I put here that my calf muscle was hurting and I wanted to avoid getting hurt due to my work trip, so I didn't go to the gym. So that was kind of a challenge that I felt this week. For next week here, I have my work trip and I also have lunch with leadership. So I'm excited for the second one. The first one, I'm always excited for work trips, but at the same time, I'm a very anxious person. So work trips are kind of anxiety ridden with me, but that's okay. I'm ready for it. I already planned everything that I needed. I also planned my work bag. Where is it? I'll put here, I think in the front. So I already listed everything that I need to take with me, so I'm ready. I think it's going to be all right. Let me just go ahead and check if there's anything else that we need to do for this weekly review. Nope, I don't think so. So I hope you enjoyed this weekly review. It was a little bit more chaotic, I think, but next week we'll be able to go back and do it properly and slowly because I don't think I'll have as many activities as I had this week. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.